All right, guys, it is nearing Black Friday time, and whether you're doing a sale for your business on your products, a discount on your services perhaps, or other types of offers, or plan to just simply promote other people's products as an affiliate this year, this episode is for you. I have been doing Black Friday sales since 2019. That was my first ever Black Friday sale, and it was right after I'd first launched my template shop, so that's when I did my first one. And it was so much simpler than what I do today. I was actually looking over all the information from that sale as I was preparing for this episode. And back then I had done $75 off my templates, just like flat $75 off, and also some fun bonuses. And even though my sale has evolved so much over the years to be a bit more, high production, a lot more work, and also a higher discount, it's always been a big week in my business, even back then. And to give you a few qualifiers of like why I feel as though I can teach you on this, right? Between the 5 different years of Black Friday sales I have done in my business, I've done over $200,000 in sales in that 1 week period, all without running ads. So it really is mostly profit. And I've also done this without a huge team too. And a bigger thing, while also enjoying Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is actually one of my favorite holidays. I travel for Thanksgiving every year to be with extended family. And so I don't like to be working a lot. I actually last year didn't even bring my laptop with us on our Thanksgiving trip. So I do all the work ahead of time and then execute it. And it ends up being a really profitable and fun week in my business too, just getting to serve new customers in this way with like a really exciting offer always makes me really happy. So as I was thinking about this episode, I came up with 7 different tips for you that I think are the most important things as I look back over all my 5 years of doing Black Friday sales. This will be my 6th year having a Black Friday sale. These are tips that are going to help you whether it's your first time doing a sale or if you're someone like me where you're like, hey, I've done this like 5 or 6 times and you just want some fresh thoughts and tips to make things better. So really excited for this episode. It's going to be a fun one. It was hard for me to keep it to just 7 tips, but I picked what I think are going to be the most helpful to you. So let's get into it. Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, an online educator for entrepreneurs, website designer, wife, boy mom, and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want to dive deep into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a sustainable business that fits your unique lifestyle while standing out in a crowd, then you are in the right place. I created a multiple 6-figure a year business in my early 20s, and now in my 30s, I'm still running that successful multiple 6-figure a year business on just part-time hours now as a working mom. I'm here to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe that the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, website design, personal branding, mindset, time management as a busy parent, scalable and passive income, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. Okay, 2 quick things before we get into all these super fun Black Friday tips. First one, I know I have plenty of international listeners of this podcast, and I just want to say you have to take this and apply it to your business the best you can, knowing that like you probably maybe are doing Black Friday sales as well, but it's going to look different depending on what's happening in your country at this time. So I'm mainly speaking to US-based businesses who are, in the Black Friday, Thanksgiving holiday situation. And then second thing, a lot of these tips apply more to product-based businesses, but that does not mean you cannot apply it to service-based businesses. And I've tried to think of you guys who own service-based businesses as I have made these tips. So I'll definitely try to draw back to you as well as I speak, but know that like generally speaking, a lot of this might feel as though it applies more to like e-commerce and things like selling templates and digital products overall. So just want to throw out those 2 disclaimers before we get into my tips. All right, tip number 1. Okay, let's just get straight into it. This is a huge one, and these are in no particular order, but this is a huge one. Be careful that you don't have too much to talk about in your Black Friday messaging. So it can be easy with Black Friday to layer on and on and on and on the bonuses and the freebies and what's on sale. And it kind of becomes like, okay, guys, on this day, this thing's 30% off, but then on the next day, it's 20% off, but then you get this free gift of purchase on that day. And then on this day, if you buy, you're entered to win this prize. Oh, and this company, by the way, that I'm an affiliate for, they're having a sale too. Did you know they're having a sale? Oh, and this company's having a sale. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like you're just saying too many things. And you personally can like lose track of the messaging of what you're actually trying to sell when there's too many bonuses, too many changing deals, and too many other things you're promoting as well. So you don't want your messaging to sound like that's messy and confusing. So you need to make sure you are clear on what the sale is, or maybe it's not even a sale, maybe it's more bonus focused, but like what the offer is that you are doing for your business for Black Friday. I personally am also a huge fan of doing the same deal the whole time versus changing deals day to day. That is something that makes your sale feel a lot simpler, especially when you're not like a solid e-commerce company with like tons and tons of products. I actually did that one year of like a changing deal every day where we had like a deal calendar, and it was really kind of stressful for me and I think confusing for customers. So that was a year where I like look back and read my Black Friday debrief. And I'm like, yeah, I did not like that strategy. So overall though, I've learned over the years that simple messaging goes a lot farther than having too many different things you're promoting. So I would encourage you to make a list of exactly what your sale is. And if it feels like more than you can comfortably mention over like say 2 emails to your audience, or if it feels like, you know, the big thing is like too big and it's too much stuff and like you're kind of almost like diminishing what the actual offer is, then consider cutting some things. So an example, not necessarily based on anything, but like it might be that your templates, like your shop products are all 20% off, and then your courses are all 10% off. And then you get 2 bonuses when you buy anything, and you're entered to win this prize just for shopping. Okay. Like that kind of stuff where you can say it really simply like that is where you want your offer to start versus it being too complex for you to explain to someone, much less explain over emails in the noise of Black Friday and in your other marketing endeavors. So that's my first one. Make sure that there's not too much to talk about that you forget what it is you're actually selling. Second tip, start it early if you're B2B. So this is just my opinion as it's my podcast. And so I'm personally sharing what I've seen work in my business and in other people's businesses. So you might disagree with this, any of these tips. These are just, again, what I've seen work over my years of Black Friday sales, but I like starting early. And I know the joke is that Black Friday gets earlier and earlier every year to where it's basically starting like November 1st. And I do think there's some truth to that. Although I will say last year, and I noted this in my debrief, I noticed that a lot of bigger retailers did not start early. Or if they did start early, it was like a worse deal. Like there was a pre-Black Friday sale that's only 20% off, and then later during real Black Friday, it's 30% off. And then on Cyber Monday, it's 40%, that sort of thing, which I personally did not like as a shopper. And as I make my own sale, I try to pay attention to like, what do I like to shop when it comes to Black Friday as a consumer? And I don't like the changing deals because then it makes me hesitant to buy because I'm like, well, wait, is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? Like when's the best moment for the thing I wanted to get? But generally for us online business owners, starting earlier is better. Think back to early days of Black Friday, perhaps when you were younger or a child, but people woke up early on the Friday after Thanksgiving and people were camping out at like 5 a.m. outside of Walmart and Target to fight over things like TVs and computers. And what once was that has actually mainly become a virtual thing. So, at one point, Cyber Monday was like the thing after we all shopped in person, which I actually never did Black Friday shopping growing up, but generally speaking, where people all shopped in person at retailers. And then Cyber Monday was the thing where we all shop online. Now it's just like all cyber and all in person for big retailers. It's just all mixed together. So it's all cyber, right? But for me as a online business, I found starting sooner is really nice because it allows fellow business owners who I'm B2B, right? So, and you might be as well, but it allows fellow business owners to shop my sale sooner and then unplug from their business or run their own Black Friday sale and not have to worry about shopping for their website template or course. So that way they can like shop with me early and then be done and unplug or work on their own business things. So that's why I started the way I do. And my sales, because the way I do it, are really like front loaded. So it's possible for me that on like actual Black Friday, I'm actually not making that many sales, but I did a lot more of that revenue earlier in in the week. So anyway, that's something I would recommend if you're a B2B. And again, applies to your own business because that might not make sense for you, but I like starting earlier. Okay, third tip, and this is probably the most important tip I could give anyone about Black Friday. It's really simple, but it is so important. Make the sale work for your actual life. So Black Friday falls at a very inconvenient time for business owners and a really nice time for consumers. So for example, like I said in the intro, but I travel for Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving has been one of my favorite holidays like my whole life. It's a very special time with my extended family. We have a very large gathering at my aunt and uncle's house, and I cherish it so much. It's a time where I see family members that I only see once a year. We play games, we eat great food, I make a ton of pies, and like now having children too, this will be Ethan's first Thanksgiving this year, and Colin's been to quite a few, but it's just such a special time being with family and unplugging. So like I don't want to be working while I'm there. So I like to automate things as much as possible. My emails are all scheduled before they go out. And I think about social content too from the perspective of like, yeah, I don't want to have to go like sit up in our room and like work on posting Instagram posts. I want to be able to be in the moment with my family, and for this not to be a situation where it's like, oh yeah, like Elizabeth was there, but she was on her laptop or phone the whole time, right? So this is something that just makes me like think about, I'm so big on making business work for your life, right? That's something I preach a lot on this podcast and mean very genuinely that I think it's so important. So perhaps for you, this is just something to consider. Maybe this year doing a huge Black Friday sale would actually mean that makes you not present with your family for the Thanksgiving holiday or for fall, like leading up to Thanksgiving, because you're stressed out and you're filming Instagram stories when you'd rather be eating pie and chatting with your grandmother. So I just want you, as you think about your Black Friday sale, to start first with like, what am I doing for Thanksgiving this year? What am I doing in the fall this year? Maybe you're really booked up with a course launch or traveling like me. I actually have 2 trips in October. As I'm recording this, I just got back from the first trip to Arizona, which was for Showit's Design Partner Retreat. And then I have 2 weeks at home, and then I'm speaking at Showit's Spark Conference. And yeah, you got to believe that those sorts of things will affect like how I'm doing Black Friday because I'm so busy with other things in my business. I'm like a new-ish mom again. Ethan's 7 months old. I still feel like that's new, but like I think about those things, right? You want to make your life work around your business. So think about what your holiday and your fall is going to look like this year. And it might be different from past years, but plan your Black Friday with that knowledge, knowing that each year of your life is different and you're allowed to change up Black Friday to suit that. That is part of running a lifestyle-based business, which is what most of us listening are running. So anyway, plan according to your actual life and then go from there. And maybe next year you go bigger. Maybe this year you go bigger when last year you didn't, whatever it is. Other tips that kind of just fall into this larger tip, but schedule things out, like I said, so you can be present with your family, whatever it is you're doing. And then I would just like try to know yourself when it comes to in the moment content. So like try to know like, okay, do you think that realistically when you are driving, say the day before Thanksgiving and your Black Friday sale's happening, are you going to want to post a bunch of Instagram stories on the car ride there about your sale? Or are you going to feel like I don't want to do any of that? Are you going to feel like making a reel in the moment? Are you going to feel like releasing that bonus podcast episode or like being really in tune with your customer support inbox? Like think about all those things and plan accordingly, knowing your own personality and your own working style. Interrupting this episode with a suggestion for the small business owners listening. Ever wonder what you should do for healthcare when you and your spouse are both self-employed so there's no work-provided health insurance to participate in? Well, when my husband Adam joined me in the entrepreneurial job space over 4 years ago, we joined Christian Healthcare Ministries instead of getting traditional health insurance. And it was the best decision for us, especially in these years of growing and raising a family while also running multiple businesses. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry and is a faith-based alternative to health insurance. We did tons of research before choosing CHM, and if you know me and Adam, you know we are all about doing the math when making big or small financial decisions. And even though it's not insurance, CHM shares 100% of eligible medical bills, which is more than the typical 70 or 80% of medical bills paid for by insurance companies. All sharing is determined by the CHM guidelines, which you can check out before and after joining. And for the mamas and mamas to be listening, you truly cannot find a better healthcare option for maternity care. I had a vaginal delivery and a C-section and birth center care and hospital care between my 2 pregnancies and births, and it was all 100% shared for. And outside of birth, we've had our share of emergency room visits and procedures as a family, and those costs were all shared by members at Christian Healthcare Ministries, leaving us only paying our monthly contribution. promotion. CHM is less expensive month to month than insurance, and because there's no network, you can choose your care with whichever providers best fit your family. I seriously just cannot recommend Christian Healthcare Ministries enough. You've got to check them out. Go to elizabethmccravy.com/CHM for more information. Also putting that link in the show notes, elizabethmccravy.com/CHM. Now back to the episode. Okay, number 4, this is a very simple tip, so I'll keep this one short, but it's an important one. Okay, use the same coupon code every year for Black Friday if you're e-commerce and you're using coupon codes for your sale. So this allows you to reuse some things like graphics that maybe worked well, or even Facebook ads. If you do Facebook ads for your sale, it basically helps you not to have to reinvent the wheel every time. Even if the deal itself is changing, perhaps the codes you're using do not change. And I throw this tip in there because I learned it the hard way. Again, I've had 5 Black Friday sales. I think all of them except for one have had the same coupon code, which is Black Friday, by the way. It's not active right now, right? Because we activate and deactivate codes for sales. But one year I randomly did some other sale that was like more cutesy, like eat pie or, I don't know, something like more turkey. I don't know, something like that. And then I had to like change up so many graphics and things that I was already used to like just working for my business. And I created more work for myself by changing the code. So like pick out what your code's going to be and use the same coupon code every year. And I would also add for other sales in your business. This is just a great tip. Like if you run a 4th of July sale every year, use the same code every time. No reason to reinvent the wheel. And then you can revisit all your graphics you made from the year before and probably update things, right? Because your business has changed in a year. But like generally speaking, you'll have to update a lot less. All right. Tip number 5, do a solid debrief of the sale for yourself. So, I said my number 1 tip would be to make Black Friday work for your actual life. This would probably be my second biggest tip for you. If you do nothing else for your Black Friday, do this. Do a debrief. What is a debrief? It's basically an analysis of how something went in your business that's just for you or you and your team to look at with the goal of improving it next time. So perhaps next time you're trying to improve the way you felt during the sale, how organized it was. Maybe you had an idea during the sale that you wish you had done, but it's too late now. So you're saving it for the next year and you're putting it in your debrief. Debriefing is just such a huge thing. And I have debriefed every Black Friday in my business except for the first one. And I have all those documents privately for myself to view at any time I want to on one place in my Google Drive. And I actually do really look it all over before every Black Friday year over year. And so for the years that were older sales, like my 2020 sale, it's like that's been quite a few years now, right? So instead of like completely reading over that whole debrief, I'll look at things I highlighted, and certain sections of it, I have a whole section of like ideas, ways to improve. I'll look at like the big headers of like what went really well, what I want to bring into next year and things like that. But I very much focus on whatever the debrief was from the year prior. So on this podcast, episode 254, so a while back from this one, I share all about how to do a debrief in your business. So if this is like, oh, Elizabeth, I like this, I want to debrief, I don't even know where to start, go listen to that episode. It's very solid, detailed content about debriefing. I share about my whole process there. And then I also talk about a template I have in my business that's a smaller offer, and it's a launch and sale debrief template, which I will link to that template in the show notes for this episode. If you want to like make the whole debrief process a lot easier on yourself by having like a base that you are starting with for this year's Black Friday, or maybe something else in your business, go buy it. It is a very, very affordable price. And it's linked in the show notes for this episode, but it's a 4-page template. And when I say template, it's not like a website template. It's a Google Doc that you can use it as a Google Doc if that's how you prefer, or you can export it as a Word document, or you could even bring it into something like your Notes app. I mean, there's so many ways you can use it. And it's perfect for debriefing like a new digital product launch, e-commerce sales and promotions, a new service offer launch, membership or mastermind launches, and so much more. So anyway, it's a great time to buy it right before Black Friday. And I'm linking to that in the show notes so you can go find it. You can also find it on my website. I'm trying to think of where exactly it's linked, but if you go to my shop page, you can get it from there, but also just click the link directly in the show notes for this episode. But yes, debriefing. And a fun fact about my debrief situation. So last year, I added something new to my debrief, and I actually recorded myself a Loom video where I walked through the debrief for myself for about 30 minutes. And I basically say in the video, I started watching it actually as I've started thinking a little bit about my Black Friday sale, but also was thinking about how to help you you with your Black Friday for this episode. So I started watching my video. But yeah, I just talked through and I say like, I thought it'd be easier to like verbally process some of this in addition to the notes, because it's just easier to like phrase things and hear my own tone of voice. So I was like, I literally started the video. I'm like, hello, future self. Like, hope this is helpful. And it is helpful. Like as I watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so helpful having a video with it. So that's even another tip I would add that I think I talk about in that launch debrief episode, but like including video for yourself to watch later is super helpful too. So that's number 5. Do a solid debrief for yourself of Black Fridays, and that way every year will get better and better. All right, I have 2 more tips for you. So number 6, know that Black Friday is a very crowded time, both in competitors of yours, but also just in the world at whole. I mean, people are shopping for their personal life. They are shopping for their business. They're shopping for Christmas gifts. I mean, so many things. So know that it may not be your end all be all sale or like your best sale of the year, best promo period of the year in your business. And another time of the year when the environment's less crowded could actually be better than Black Friday for you. So I personally last year did a sale in the summer that did, I think, better actually than my Black Friday sale did last year. It was a higher revenue time. And I did it at a non-crowded time for that reason. I did it in the summer on a very particular week that I was like picking based on what was happening in the world and in my own life and business, and kind of almost did my own like summer Black Friday sale, right? So maybe you do decide this year that like, hey, I'm going to go more chill for Black Friday. You're just going to like put up a coupon code or message your current service-based like clients about a deal you're going to do, and that's it. And then you're doing a sale another time a year that you're putting more effort and energy into when it's not as crowded and when things are different in your personal life. So just know like it's okay to like decide to go light on Black Friday and do another bigger promo another time of year. Okay, last tip for you guys I think is really important. Think beyond just discounts when you think about your offer. So when I think about a Black Friday sale, what it is another way to phrase it would be, what is your Black Friday offer? Okay. It's beyond discounts, right? You could even run a Black Friday sale and it not include discounts, guys. Like just throwing that out there, like think beyond discounts, think creatively. And I truly do just love Black Friday so much. I can even sense that just now watching that video of myself from last year as I was debriefing that sale. I love Black Friday, and I always have. I mean, I ran my first Black Friday sale, like I said, with $75 off and some bonuses, and that was just a few months, or maybe even like 2 months maybe after I'd launched my template shop for the first time, and I loved it. I love getting to do Black Friday sales, and I think when I think about like, okay, Alyssa, why do you love Black Friday so much? I find it to be an opportunity to challenge myself creatively as a marketer and to just have fun and come up with something cool that will get your current audience excited and then bring in new customers as well. And you can do that by thinking beyond discounts. So maybe it's that nothing's discounted, but things are bundled, and therefore, I'm saying think beyond discounts. So it's technically be a discount, but like you're bundling some things. And if someone buys all of them, they get a special deal on it. Maybe that there's bonuses. If people shop with you during Black Friday, maybe you're just promoting other people's sales as an affiliate and you're not doing anything on your own, but you're just saying like, okay, there's all these companies that I'm an affiliate for. They are all having sales and I'm going to talk about their sales. Maybe for your service business, it's that you create a special offer that you don't normally offer, like some kind of special VIP day situation that's a limited time and they have to book with you during this Black Friday time. And then they're going to get started in January. I mean, there's so many different things you can do beyond just saying, I'm putting everything 50% off and that's it. So just allow yourself to think creatively. And I would also say, in addition to debriefing, like as you shop Black Friday this year, maybe you don't buy anything, maybe you do, but as you just observe other people's sales in the world and kind of what's happening, I would challenge you to also like look at other people's stuff, competitors or not, like completely other industries. Some of my best Black Friday sales have come from like random stuff like J. Crew that I've shopped during Black Friday in my personal life, and then I apply that to my own business. But look for things you like and make note of it. So maybe it's just that you start a note on your phone, on your notes app, where you're like, these are Black Friday things I thought worked really well, and you want to remember it for your own business, maybe for someday when you have digital products, or maybe just for next year when you have more capacity, like whatever it is. But like try to pay attention to things like that to help yourself get some cool ideas. So yeah, think beyond just discounts. And also I want to add, this kind of be a bonus tip, I guess, but have fun with it. Like I just said, Black Friday is an opportunity to challenge yourself creatively, and just to have fun as a marketer. So like, I would say like try to, if you can, show up with the energy of like, this is fun. I'm not trying to like, to make the most money ever. I'm trying to like show up and serve my audience well with a really good offer and do better than I did last year in some capacity. Like I know for me, even when I look at like my debriefs over years, like there are so many other measurements of success besides just every year getting bigger, which by the way, that's not been the case for me. I've had some Black Fridays, like my 2020 Black Friday was huge and the one after was like less than that, right? So it's not always like that every Black Friday just gets better and better financially. But then I've had things like last year, I had more customers shop with me than the year before. Okay, like there's things like that, right? Like that more people are shopping with you. Maybe your email list grows more. Maybe your social following grows more. Maybe you had one offer that just like really sold super well. And that's something that you can like learn from and pay attention to. And there's so many different things, right? So anyway, think beyond just discounts and try to have fun with it. So I'm going to recap all these tips, but I want to say before you turn this off, my Black Friday sale's coming up, obviously, as yours is too, hopefully, as you listen to this episode. And I hope you have more ideas for your own sale after this conversation we've had together, but I wanted to give you a special offer as a podcast listener around my Black Friday sale. So you can go to elizabethmccravy.com/BF, short for Black Friday, and get on a shop early wait list. Ooh, yes, a shop early wait list for my sale. That's going to allow you actually, if you get on that wait list, you'll get the information when the secret like day one sale starts, but you'll have an opportunity to shop my sale a day early and get a special offer that is only for you as a podcast listener on my Black Friday sale. Okay, I know I'm being really vague. That's on purpose. But go to that link, elizabethmccravy.com/Black Friday. You can get on that list, be able to shop a day early, and get some special deals that are just for you as an early shopper. And then if you're listening this farther into the future and you go to that link, you'll be able to just see the actual sale contents as well on that page. That's elizabethmccravy.com/Black Friday. And you can also shop the launch debrief template that I mentioned. You can shop that now at the link in the show notes for this episode. So anyway, hope this helped. Let me recap all those tips. And as I recap them, I would challenge you to just think about like, okay, which ones do you personally need to focus on in your business? So number one, be careful you don't have too much to talk about in your messaging that's confusing and you're not even talking about what you actually sell. Number two, start it early if you're business to business. Number three, make the sale work for your actual life and make it fit into what you are already doing for the holiday. 4, use the same coupon code every year. 5, do a solid debrief for yourself so you can make the sale better and better every year, and you can get my launch debrief template for that. Number 6, it's a crowded time, so know that this may not be your absolute best, biggest sale of the year, and there may be another time of year that makes more sense for you. And then number 7, think beyond just discounts when it comes to your Black Friday offer. So that's it, friends, and maybe next year I'll do even more content around Black Friday if I have so much more to say than even these 7 tips, but I hope this is so helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful, fun, and successful Black Friday, but even more importantly than that, like an enjoyable Thanksgiving holiday with your family. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to the podcast all the way to the end. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this episode, then I want to invite you to check out my website template shop too. Over on elizabethmccravy.com, you'll find Show It website templates that are easy to use, strategically designed, and created to help you make more money from your website. Maybe your current website is really boring, maybe it's a challenge to update, and maybe it's even the thing you feel like is holding your business back. Your website needs to be strategically and intentionally designed in order for it to convert your viewers into raving customers, and that's exactly what my templates do. These templates are designed to be SEO friendly on the back end, not just pretty, and also strategic with all the strategies I teach on the show, and they are easy for you to set up all by yourself. So shop them at elizabethmccravy.com/shop and come join thousands of happy customers using these templates. And as an added perk, you can use the code BBPodcast at checkout to get 10% off your template as a thank you for being part of the podcast fam. Again, that's BB Podcast for 10% off any template over on elizabethmccravy.com. Also, if you loved this episode, leaving a rating and review for the show on wherever you're listening or sharing it with a friend is a great way to support this podcast. Thank you again for listening, and I'll be back next week with a new episode.